What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Knicks versus Pacers post-game show. I'm your host, Troy, and I really appreciate you guys checking in and tuning into today's post-game show. Now, before we break down today's game, and yes, it was a heartbreaker, we are going to get to it. I got to ask you guys a favor. If you guys don't know, we are on the road to try to get to 20,000 subscribers, and your support really could help. As you can see here, only about 55% of you watching the stream right now are actually subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy content like this and you love daily Knicks updates, please consider hitting that subscribe button because it really does support all the great content that we're creating for you. Now, let's get to that game. My goodness, talk about a difference. We saw an up and down game from the Knicks going up against the Indiana Pacers. It was up and down for a reason, because you saw the defense at times look phenomenal. And then at times, we saw the defense allow three after three after three from Indiana. So much so that in that second half, the Knicks didn't make 1 3 until 1 minute left in the fourth quarter. And conversely, the Indiana Pacers could not miss from three. One big reason for that: we were giving them the three ball, allowing them to be open from three, allowing them to shoot those three balls without any resistance. And again, the defense was up and down. But one thing was clear: if the Knicks continue to not defend the perimeter, then it doesn't matter who they play against. It could be a good team, a bad team, a team that's just trying to find their footing, just like Indiana. But it's not going to matter. If we cannot play perimeter defense, if we can't stop the three, if we're going to allow a team to shoot that many threes that are open with late closeouts and not running toward them to put up any resistance, we're going to get shot out of the gym and we're going to lose the game. And ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what happened. We're going to break down exactly what the Knicks did, why they lost this game, and a couple of key stats for tonight's game that you guys must look at. All of this and so much more today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And make sure you have notifications turned on so you don't miss a second of the new content. And now, let's get started. The Knicks can't buy a three. They allow Indy to shoot lights out from deep. I mean, I don't even know what to say. Watching this game, everybody who watched this game like I did, you guys saw it. We were aggressive on offense. On offense, the Knicks actually did what they needed to do. They were moving the ball, moving themselves, and getting what they needed to get from Indiana and that defense. Let's be real here. Indiana was missing a number of key players. They did not have a bench. They were thin on the bench, just like the Knicks. But more importantly, they don't really play defense. All you have to really worry about is Miles Turner. If you can beat him, there's nobody else coming out for you. If you can beat him, there's really nobody else coming out at you or coming after you when you get inside the paint. So the Knicks could do whatever they wanted to do inside, and they did. What they couldn't do, but what they allowed Indiana to do, was shoot the three. And the Knicks from three, not only did we not shoot enough threes, which means we're not creating enough threes, but we allowed Indiana to gain confidence. And that's one thing you cannot allow a bad team to do. When they're a bad team already, when they're bad defensively, why would you give them the confidence to shoot the ball the way they did? Ben Mathurin, who had a career high tonight against the Knicks. Do you want to know why that happened? Go back to the first quarter and rewatch it. We allowed Ben Mathurin to shoot a couple of shots that were open. That got his confidence up. And then when that happened, he went off. He couldn't miss. And when he had that confidence in his shot, he was shooting threes, going inside, getting to the rim. Basically, he got anything that he wanted because we gave him that confidence. Tyrese Haliburton, who has been a shell of himself all season long, finally gets it going against the Knicks. Why? Because we allow him to get it going. We allow him to play his game. And Knicks Nation, I see you. Shout out to you guys. Chat gang, I see you guys. We will get to your comments. I promise you, we're going to get to your takes. As soon as we go after some of these quick stats that we have to cover tonight about the Knicks and why they dropped this game. But it's important to understand, The main reason New York lost this game against Indiana tonight was their perimeter defense and the amount of threes they put up and allowed Indiana to hit. Let's look at exactly what New York allowed Indiana to do and how all the stats broke out tonight for tonight's loss against the Indiana Pacers. Shout out to ESPN for giving us the following information, and also for James L. Edwards of The Athletic for giving us the final information here as well, too. Pacers 132, Knicks 121. Struggles in transition and pick and pop coverage helped the Pacers shoot 21 of 46 from three. 40 points in the fourth quarter. Brunson had 33, 10, and 6, and Anunoby with 25 points. Towns, 30 points and 9 rebounds. But here's the thing. New York was 7 to 25 from three. 7 to 25 from three. Do you want to know what that breaks out to, ladies and gentlemen? That breaks out to 28% from three. We took 28 threes and only made 7 of them. We are not generating enough threes. 28, and we allowed the Pacers to shoot how much? 46. Allowed the Pacers to shoot 46 threes. They made 21 of them. I'm going to take a guess here, but it's probably accurate. About 5 of those threes that they took were probably contested. The rest of them, not contested, open shooters, everybody looking at the player making the shot. If there's one thing that grinds my gears, one of my pet peeves is when a defender looks at his man, set, get everything ready, and make the shot. And you're watching him do all of this, not running to him, not trying to make any type of resistance, not even putting a hand up. We saw that in the first half, but it wasn't that bad. But in that second half, it was terrible. Not only did the Knicks not make a three, could not find a three, couldn't create a three, but we allowed Indiana to shoot whatever they wanted, do whatever they wanted, gave Ben Mathurin confidence. Ben Mathurin gave Tyrese Haliburton confidence. They are as injured as us right now, missing a number of players. They dropped their last game. They could not buy a bucket last game, losing to the Hornets. The Hornets. And then the Knicks, championship contender, go into Indiana, and we can't stop the three? We can't handle the three? I understand from offense, each and every night, it's going to look okay from New York. But what is the praise going to do on offense when our defense can be picked apart like that? Because there's one thing Indiana was doing, and everybody saw it. TJ was doing it, Tyrese Haliburton was doing it, and Ben Mathurin was doing it. You guys saw it, right? Transition defense. We know we have an issue with that. But the issue comes with, what are we doing with the transition defense? Oh, yeah, I know what we're doing. We're running to the player that has the ball, committing hard, and then not rolling enough with enough defenders inside to protect the pass. So what happens? They kick it to a wide open player in the corner. Boom. Three-pointer with no resistance. Or even worse, they pass it to a cutter inside. We saw Miles Turner do that a number of times tonight. So the Pacers had a number of options. And here's where the Knicks messed up the most. We didn't shut down one of them. And what we should have done was stop the three. I would have put OG Anunoby on Ben Mathurin as soon as possible. When Ben Mathurin was going off and couldn't miss, OG would have been on him. OG would have stopped them. Because I know OG would have held it down, made sure he wasn't scoring anymore, and cooled him down so it didn't matter anymore. But we didn't do that. We didn't make any adjustments. We allowed Ben Mathurin to cook us, to torch us. And what did it result into? A 40-point fourth quarter for the Pacers. Let's go to some of your takes first before I go into some more of the stats for tonight's game and break down some more of the key parts of why the Knicks lost this game. But let's go to the chat here real quick. Shout out to everybody here. We got Tony Riviera, one of the mods in the group. He says, we need them to gel because this is a new team. He messed up by changing his shot. We're talking about Mel Bridges, I'm thinking here. Yuri says, bro, we can't have an 8-man rotation. Listen, man, 8-man rotation. Did you guys see the numbers here? Look at the numbers here in terms of the rotation. 42 minutes for Mel Bridges. OG Anunoby, 36 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns, 39. Jaylen Brunson, 41. Josh Hart, 43. Deuce, 29. Tyler Kolek played 2 minutes. and Jericho Sims 9 minutes. What are we doing? What I agree with you, Yuri. What are we doing? We're playing our players 40 plus minutes, our starters, and we play Tyler Kolek, who could hit a three. I guarantee he could hit a three if he's in the corner, and he plays 2 minutes. 2 minutes? Let's keep it going here, though. We're going to keep it going. Shout out to the chat gang. Keep your comments rolling in. Keep your comments rolling in. Carl Wright says, I've seen enough. Time for some trades. I don't know if it's time for some trades, but we need to see some change from this Knicks organization. What we've understood right now is playing an 8-man rotation is not going to get it done. You need to make adjustments, because if you don't make adjustments early, bad things are going to happen. One more comment, and then we're going to go to the rest of the stats for tonight's game. Huck and Tyler must play more. Listen, Marvin, I agree with you 100%. They need to play more. Why didn't Huck Aporti see any time? Why did Pacome Dadier see no time? Why did Tyler Kolek only play 2 minutes? All of those things is a contribution to why we lost this game tonight. And I'll go ahead and I'll say it again. I'll put it out there. I don't care if anybody agrees with me. I'll say it. The Knicks playing a more or less 6-man rotation, because if we look at the minutes, once again, Mel Bridges, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, Jaylen Brunson, Josh Hart all play 35 plus minutes, with Mel Bridges, Jaylen Brunson, and Josh Hart playing 42, 41, and 43 minutes respectively. And then you have Miles McBride off the bench with 29. After that, you want to include Jericho Sims 9 minutes? You want to include Tyler Kolek's 2 minutes? Those are the minutes you want to include in this game to say Tom Thibodeau played an 8-man rotation. If that's what you want to say, more power to you. You can say that, because I guess the stats back you up. But if I'm watching the game, if I'm looking at the minutes, if I'm looking at the rotation, who played impressive and important minutes, it was only the starters and Deuce McBride. 6-man rotation. 6-man rotation, and we are in early November. When you do that, I don't care who you are. Nobody is used to or accustomed to playing that many minutes this early on in the season. You're going to get tired legs. I saw that out there. That's why nobody really else could make a bucket besides Jaylen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns late to close the game. And even with them making shots, it didn't matter, because us trading twos, us driving inside and breaking down the Pacers defense meant nothing. It meant absolutely zero. Nothing at all, because when you break down the defense and get two, it doesn't matter when you allow them to shoot a wide open three, because 3 will always be better than 2. And that's what we allowed them to do at each and every time. We never let it go. We allowed them to keep shooting 3 after 3 after 3. In the second half, it's like we forgot how to play perimeter defense. That fourth quarter, Tyrese Haliburton, Ben Mathurin, Miles Turner hits an open 3, and then Karl-Anthony Towns, seeing him at the 3-point line, sags off of him like we didn't just see him hit an open 3, and then he hits another one. Splash. 6 more points. It's like they're blowing out the game. At halftime, if you're the coach, in the timeouts, at the huddles, I am going to be screaming at the top of my lungs, perimeter, 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 defend the perimeter. They're not doing anything inside right now. They're getting almost all of their points at the perimeter. You have to defend. You must do it. Let's look at the stat sheet again, and let's see what other things jump off the page here, because there is a lot of things you have to look at here. Field goal percentage. The Knicks shot 55.4% from the field. Conversely, the Pacers shot 51.1%. So don't tell me it's offense. Don't tell me it's offense. We got whatever we wanted inside the paint. If we wanted 2 points, we could get it from anybody. We're going to get to the bright spots of this game, who was impactful, all of that very, very soon. But as of right now, we already know offense wasn't the issue. So what was the issue? Was it 3-point percentage? Yes, we already know that. 28% to 45. That's the biggest difference right there. Free throw percentage, not really that difference. 81 to 84. Rebounds. The Knicks won that 39 to 32. Assists. Here we go. 27 assists for the Pacers, 23 assists for the Knicks. Far cry from the 35 assists we had against the Milwaukee Bucks. In the beginning of that game, first quarter, second quarter, a lot of player movement, a lot of ball movement, a lot of great Knicks basketball on the offense. That third and fourth quarter, stagnant offense. Nobody moving, that ball not moving, a lot of isolation play. You saw Jaylen Brunson, his isolation play. Karl-Anthony Towns, even a little bit of OG Anunoby. He was isolating and doing a great move. One of my favorite OG Anunoby moves right now, the fake and drive. The fake and drive for OG Anunoby has consistently converted in 2 points for the Knicks because it just seems to work. OG has been the bright spot for the Knicks, even in losses. No matter what it is, OG seems to continue to be that player for us. More about OG a little bit later on, but just going back to the stat sheet and what we're seeing jumping off the page, those assist numbers. You're not going to win games when you're not shooting a lot of threes and you're not getting players involved. You have to create threes. How are you going to create threes when you're playing isolation basketball, when you're not passing the ball? You need to pass the ball. If you don't pass the ball and you're going one-on-one, then defenses can set against you. You know how hard it is to score on a defense that's set against you, especially if you're Jaylen Brunson and you're getting double teamed basically all game? That second half, every time he jumped into the paint, what did Jaylen Brunson see? Because I think he saw a double team each and every time. That bothered him. It bothered his game. But even though it bothered his game, what did Jaylen Brunson give us tonight? Brunson tonight, even though we lost, 41 minutes, 11 of 17 from the field. Shot a lot better tonight. 1 of 2 from 3. Even though he didn't shoot the 3 ball too many times, he understood when he had an open look. 6 rebounds, 10 assists, and 33 points on the night. Jaylen Brunson found his offensive game tonight. He was also helping getting others involved. I like what I saw from Jaylen Brunson, but we also understand JB and Cat cannot be the only ones that get it done. And even if the offense looks good, the offense can look great. By all accounts, the offense, even though we've had some moments where it doesn't completely gel, it's not something that you can knock completely because the numbers would back up the fact that the Knicks more consistently are getting whatever they want offensively. They can go inside, they can attack, they can do whatever they want to do. The problem always comes defensively and how often they can be that defensive team that Tom Thibodeau needs them to be, that New York needs them to be, that we need to be in the Eastern Conference so nobody's going to go inside and continue to attack, because that's what was happening. Once the Pacers got confidence from the outside, they were attacking on the inside because they knew the Knicks were going to drop off of them if they passed and they were going to have an open 3. And they dragged maybe 2 or 3 defenders from the Knicks each and every time. Can I ask a question? And anybody in the chat can answer this. Why are we sending 3 defenders to TJ McConnell? Is TJ McConnell an all-star? I know he's a good player, but is he an all-star? Why are we throwing 3 defenders at him? Because when you throw 3 defenders at TJ McConnell in the paint, that means your corner open, your perimeter shot open, and all they have to do is swing. Is that shot not open? No. Swing, better shot. They're hitting that 3. They kept doing that. And we didn't shut it down because we kept allowing it to happen. This game was winnable. This game was ours to take. We lost it for one main reason. We didn't do what we did against the Bucks, which obviously is the winning formula for New York. Move yourself, move the ball, and good things will happen. Play defense. Make sure you're locked in on that, and good things will happen. If you don't do that and you allow a team to shoot wide open threes, you are going to lose. I feel like this is something that shouldn't be said. We should all know this. But it seems like each and every time we lose, we go through the exact same things of why we lost. Not enough passes, not enough three-point attempts, not enough creations from the three-point attempts to get wide open shots for your teammates, and not enough perimeter defense to shut down what the other team is doing or allowing them to do whatever they want to do inside. This game, we did both. We let them do whatever they want to do from 3. And then even though in the first half, we didn't allow them to go off in the paint, that second half, we did. They were doing whatever they wanted to. Strong third quarter starting defense, I would say. But maybe that 4th minute into the third quarter, our defense disappeared. It all stopped. And we let the game go from there. You can watch it. It's like clockwork. I notice these things. I notice the trends because I want to see how long it takes for the Knicks to rebound and adjust. And you want to know how long it took them in this game to adjust when their defense slipped? They didn't. They never adjusted. They took it. They got beat down and they never responded. It's like getting punched in the mouth over and over and over and over again and taking it, bleeding, and walking home with your bag and not doing anything. That's exactly what happened to the Knicks tonight. And we kept taking it because we thought there was no other way, when not realizing, oh yeah, we have hands. We can put our hands up and defend. Defend. Resistance. Look at the sheet again. There's really nothing else. Assist and three-point percentage. That's it. Those are the two things. You fix that, we win the game. We likely blow them out. That's all we had to fix. The New York Knicks have to do some work. They have to work on that defense because it's becoming problematic. I've talked about the defense since preseason, so I have a pass right now to speak on it. Our perimeter defense is atrocious. Our transition defense is atrocious. And now our paint defense, which is something that we used to hold our hat on, something that we could always look to and say, we know that's going to be there. Now that's week 2. We're weak in 3 of the crucial parts of defense right now. That means any team, if they do the same thing, will abuse the Knicks in the same way, and the same result will happen. The Knicks have to make adjustments. They have to expand the rotation, and we need to trust and lean on our bench more, because it's clear, whether you agree or not, playing the starters this many minutes is going to affect their offensive game late in games. Look at how they played. They had it in the first half, didn't have it in the second half. A lot of factors to that. Ball movement was part of that. But you know what else was part of that? The Knicks and not being able to rest anybody because they don't trust their bench enough to rest anybody. Remember what we saw, right? Tyler Kolek played 2 minutes. Ariel Huckaporty didn't play. DNPs for the rest of the bench, and Jericho Sims 9 minutes. You're not winning games like that. You're not winning games with a consistent 6-man rotation and then 2 players off the bench that make it 8 basically by math, but not by minutes. It'll never make sense to me. And we have to look at Tom Thibodeau when we have to talk about things like this, because it's a coaching thing at the end of the day. The players are not saying, yeah, play me, play only a 6-man rotation. That's a coach. Let's keep it going here. Shout out to Evan Cedardy from Sports Illustrated for giving us the following information. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to take a drink of water. All right, going back to what Evan said. Benedict Mathurin just scored a career-high 38 points tonight against the Knicks. Mathurin is now averaging 19.4 points per game this season as he ascends into a full-time starting role for the Pacers. Ben Mathurin is not him. He doesn't even look like him. He shouldn't even be considered him. We made him look like him, giving him open look after open look, open shot after open shot. And the defense now comes into question. I've given this guy a lot of praise, but now I have to say it. Mel Bridges is a problem right now. Not only his offensive game, but his defensive game as well, too. If we take a look at the numbers here, Mel Bridges tonight, not only did he play 42 minutes, so he played second most minutes on the team right behind Josh Hart, but 4 for 11 from the field, 0 of 6 from 3, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 points. Mel Bridges and the baseline jumper that he has is probably the best looking thing that I saw from him tonight. Other than that, Mel Bridges has been absolutely terrible during tonight's game against the Pacers. And I want to say, overall, it's been a lackluster type of debut as a Knick in the last couple of games that we've seen him. It's early, yes, but in about 5 to 6 games, if this continues, we won't be saying it's early. And that's my fear, because it's starting to get into a point where I think Mel Bridges is comfortable coming off to these type of non-aggressive, slow starts. And the thing is, the defense is the problem for me. Whether you want to say his primary defender tonight was Ben Mathurin or it was Tyrese Haliburton, both of those guys went off. And I would say the biggest issue because of that was Mel Bridges and Josh Hart. The defense that we had collectively as a team wasn't good, but individually, the defense that we played on those 2 players was not great. we allowed Tyrese Haliburton to dog walk us and do whatever he wanted to do. And Tyrese Haliburton is not him. Haliburton has been struggling offensively all season long. To have him go off like that against us, it really hurts because the Pacers are not a good team. We made them look like a better team. They're injured as well, and they're dealing with so many things, and the Knicks allowed them to play that way. Mel Bridges and that defense that we played all those picks for allowed him to play that way. Ben Mathurin, again, not a guy you would expect to drop career highs, but it seems like now, and maybe I'm wrong here, every time the Knicks play, I have a fear that career high and Knicks will be associated together because it just seems to continue to happen. And it really does boil my blood here, guys, because I just don't like that other players are getting career highs on us. I'm allergic to that. I don't want to see it, but every time I look around, somebody else is doing it. Tonight, it was Ben Mathurin. We allowed Tyrese Haliburton to go off, and I'm looking at Mikal for that. I'm looking at Josh Hart for that. I'm looking at the defense for that. I'm looking at Tom Thibodeau for that. Because if I'm looking at those guys going off, I'm making a permanent switch during game, and I'm putting OG on the person that's going off so I can shut down whoever it is that's doing all of this. Because if I don't do that, if I don't make a concerted effort to do that, then I'm going to get shot out of the game and lose the game. And that's what happened. Even if we did make an adjustment late in game, it was too late. The Pacers had enough confidence at that time, and we couldn't do anything. Another stat line we have to look at tonight is Josh Hart. 43 minutes, 0 of 3 from 3, 7 of 12 from the field, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, and 16 points. Josh Hart, regardless of what you want to say about him, he was playing his part to perfection tonight. He was being that hustle Hart like we needed. Getting rebounds, passing the ball, scoring in transition, one-man fast break. That's what we needed. We needed more fast break points. Look at the fast break points here tonight, guys. Fast break points tonight. The Pacers, 19. The Knicks, 6. 6. We had 6 fast break points to the Pacers, 19. Josh Hart probably had all of those points, maybe 4 of those points. But that's saying something. We need more transition buckets. The only way to get that is to push the pace. We are one of the slowest teams in the league for a reason, because we just don't push the pace enough. We need to. We have the personnel to be able to push the pace. Josh Hart, the one-man fast break, should always be the one to get the ball and be moving, because he also has the high IQ to pass the ball. He is a threat for a triple-double each and every night. He was against the Milwaukee Bucks. Tonight, it was the exact same thing. I know we lost the game. We can talk about that. We have been talking about that. But the bright spot of tonight's game was Josh Hart and OG Anunoby. Anunoby again tonight, 36 minutes, 9 of 14 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 25 points. OG Anunoby might be an early candidate for most improved player of the year. I'm just saying, the way he is on offense, his elite defense, how aggressive he is just playing phenomenal basketball on both sides of the floor. This is exactly why you paid him. I did an interview with my guy, State of Harlem. Some of you guys know him from Twitter as well, too. He called my guy at the time Paperman. You remember that, right? Paperman, Paperman, Paperman. Anybody calling him Paperman now? Anybody criticizing OG Anunoby now? A lot of things to take away from tonight's game. A lot of them bad, unfortunately. A lot of them negative. A lot of them we already covered. But one of the main things, one of the biggest things to take away is Anunoby and his continued aggression on the offensive end and the elite defense that we're getting as well, too. Oftentimes, when your shot's not there, or even when your shot is there, your defense sometimes is not the same. With OG, it's otherworldly at this point. I've never seen a player improve that much on offense with his defense either staying the same or getting better. How does that happen? Only with OG Anunoby is this happening for right now. 25 points. The other game, I think he had another 20-plus point game performance. He continues to put this out, and he's doing it effortlessly from the corner 3, faking the 3, driving inside, showcasing his playmaking skills as somebody else is inside, and passing it to him. But the biggest thing, why OG Anunoby has been impressive? Patience. He's not rushing anymore, is he? He understands when he gets the ball and he's inside, somebody's likely going to jump. And if they jump, he's going to wait for them to jump and then make his move. He did that like 5 times during tonight's game, and each and every time he was able to convert on the basket because of patience. He didn't have that last year. He was rushing a lot of shots last year. This year, way more in control of everything, of his shot, of his handle, where he is on the court, where he likes to shoot, where he wants to feel comfortable with his shot. And that's the difference that's helping OG be one of the biggest contributors for the Knicks right now. Again, Jaylen, Karl-Anthony Towns, and OG Anunoby. That's your big 3. And it is something to say that Mel Bridges is not even close to being mentioned. Not even close. Offensively, nowhere near where OG is right now. And defensively, Mel needs to step it up. Mel needs to step it up in a big way. We paid for players like Tyrese to not be able to do this against us. And the fact that he's able to dance on us like this, what they were able to do in the paint against us, it was hard to watch. I can't lie. And I've been a Knicks fan for years, basically my entire life. And watching this game tonight, I was devastated, disappointed. Didn't like the way the Knicks defense looked, especially in that second half. And I thought even though we started off the third quarter strong, it doesn't matter how you start off if you're going to finish that way. We finished like a team that isn't a championship team. We played like a team in that fourth quarter that doesn't know how to close. And if we don't know how to close come the playoffs, we're going to lose games. Because a lot of the playoff games, they come down to the last minute decisions. And as you saw, sometimes when it matters the most, we don't have it. Either we don't have the closer, we don't have the players, we don't have the legs. Something is missing. And what that is, the Knicks have to figure it out. Tom Thibodeau needs to figure it out. And we need to understand what we're going to get from this Knicks team moving forward. Because if we don't, if we continue to play this level, even against teams that we should beat like Indiana, we're going to come out with a loss and come out thinking to ourselves, what else do we need to be that championship contender that we all thought we were going to be to enter the season? Maybe it is somebody off the bench. Maybe it is expanding the rotation. Maybe it is because we're missing all of these players. It is something to think about. Leave your comments on that below. We're going to break through the shot chart really quick. I'm going to go through the shot chart. I want to talk about where the Knicks were doing their damage and where the Pacers did a lot of their damage. We're going to break that down today, talk about a couple of other things, and then basically go to your take and talk about everything that you guys want to talk about tonight, break down some of the takes that you guys had about tonight's game. So go into that shot chart really quickly. As you guys can see here, the Knicks on your left-hand side, the Pacers on your right-hand side. The Knicks, conversely, as you can see, they shot some threes. Not really a lot of them went in. I mean, they try to shoot a lot from the corner over there, as you can see from the side, but they missed a lot of those. They tried to attack a lot inside, and that's where they got a lot of their points. Obviously, they had no problem shooting inside the paint. 55%, I believe, was their stat. When you look at the Pacers, I mean, my goodness, look at the damage. I mean, look at the perimeter right there. The perimeter looks like it got abused. Look at the perimeter. It looks like bullet holes all throughout the perimeter there. They abused the Knicks. Shot from the corners aggressively. Shot from the top of the key aggressively. And then in the fourth quarter, really when the game was out of reach and they were blowing out the Knicks, look at what they did. Look at what they did in the fourth quarter there. And look what happens to the paint. They collapse the Knicks inside the paint and they do whatever they want, either by cutting to the paint or by getting open looks to the paint, by driving and taking contact and getting to the line, or even worse, driving the kick out. Look how many kickouts. All of those threes are basically kickouts to wide open shooters. That's what you're seeing on the shot chart here. So a lot of things there. A couple of notes before we go to the chat. For the first quarter, I love the way that New York is creating the offense, moving the ball to the best matchups, and our players reading that, taking advantage like OG just did to Haliburton. They were reading the matchup very well. I thought OG, when he found the switch to Hallie first, early on in that first quarter, he did a really good job. Obviously, the defense looked good early on in that first quarter, albeit for the one Brunson switch. I don't know why, but recently they've been having Brunson switch on taller defenders. And even if that happens, it's basically like a free throw for them because they can see over Brunson. Now imagine that happens and Brunson is late to switch. When that happens, it's an open shot. And that happened a lot to Siakam. We got to watch our switching and who we're switching to, because Brunson on Siakam in the corner, I mean, that's nothing. He's not doing anything to him. And no, all respect to Brunson, but We understand what he brings defensively. Going into that second quarter, I thought that the ball movement was still there for the starters, but the three-point defense was still a problem. Even now, when they were going up and they made that run, I think they were 10 points up in the second quarter there. But even when they had the run in the second quarter, it didn't matter because they let it all go by allowing their defense to continue to deteriorate and allow the Indiana Pacers to shoot whatever they want. Lights out, basically, from three. We got somebody, we got Yuri gifting one member over here. I appreciate you, Yuri. Shout out to you. I want to go to the chat. Shout out to Yuri. Yuri gifting one Knicks Recap membership. I appreciate you, Yuri. Thank you very much. As you know, all contributions to the show really do help. And they obviously help every single thing that we're doing for giveaways and everything like that. So I can't thank Yuri enough. If you want to join the Yuri movement as well, too, you want to be a member, you want to gift some memberships to other people as well, it's very easy to do so. You'll see the join button. You hit that button, and you'll be able to join as a member for any of the tiers that we have and unlock exclusive benefits. One of those benefits being awarded giveaway prizes each and every single month. We're doing another giveaway this month. Can't wait to get to it. And shout out to Yuri being a Rising Star member. Appreciate you, my guy. Can't wait to see you as part of the live streams moving forward. But let's go before we get to the chat, because I do want to get to you guys. I do want to see what you guys are going to say. I want to hear your takes. But going back to that shot chart, like I said before, as you can clearly see, Indiana did their damage from the outside, destroying us. A lot of that happened in the fourth quarter where they scored 40 points on the Knicks. A couple of things about that fourth quarter I want to say. Cat and JB were being aggressive, so I like that. Haliburton and Mathurin getting into the paint at will was not something that you wanted to see. They were able to hit the cutter, either getting the cutter open or the shooter in the corner was open as well, too. So we saw that. No boxing out in the paint as well, too. It's a dying art for me. I mean, we're not going to box out. We're not even going to get anybody like Miles Turner out of the paint. What are we doing here? Boxing out is a lost art, and I think that the Knicks have to talk about that a lot more. With the big man that we have in terms of the developmental coaches, you would think our big men understand how to box out. How to box out. It's an art, and we need to understand how to do that. So, going up from there, Ben Mathurin destroyed the Knicks, obviously, tonight inside. We let him do it as well. It wasn't that Ben Mathurin destroyed us. It was more that we allowed Ben Mathurin to do what he was doing to us. We should not have allowed Ben Mathurin to go off like that. It was a failure on us. If we're looking at Ben tonight, we're thinking, oh, my God, it's just another night he goes off. No. Blame ourselves. Blame our defense. He went off because we allowed that happen. We allowed that to happen. We allowed Benny Boy to do whatever he wanted, and he abused us. Absolutely did. Bright spot again was OG. Knicks continue to limit the rotation, which is terrible. Kolek played 2 minutes, and the biggest thing of all is the late closeouts on threes. When you close out late from three, you are never, ever, ever going to be able to get to your spot right, do the things that you want to do, make sure you're defending the ball right, and it's going to give the other team confidence if they make it in. And if they know you're doing that, they're going to start taking advantage of that and then using that to get inside. That's what Miles Turner was doing to Karl-Anthony Towns, and Towns couldn't stop it. He could do it back to Turner, but he couldn't stop it. And we saw that tonight. So, again, a lot of positives, a lot of negatives out of tonight's game. It depends on where you look at. For me, bright spot, OG Anunoby, what he continues to do. Negatives continue to be the Knicks defense, continue to be the transition defense, but also continue to be the perimeter defense. Not only perimeter defense, but not only perimeter defense for the Knicks, but also not creating enough three-point shots for ourselves and our teammates. Not passing the ball, not creating enough threes, and not guarding the three enough. Those three things together, if done each and every night by the Knicks, is going to lead to more L's. We cannot win consistently and consider ourselves a championship team if we're not doing the basics. And right now, guys, we're not doing those basics that make us a defensive team, that should make us a Tom Thibodeau defensive team. That level is not there yet. It's going to take a while, I think, for it to get there. Once it is, we're going to be dangerous. But how long it's going to take, that's the question. But shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody in the space. I appreciate you guys joining me on this post-game show for the Knicks versus Pacers game. Without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the chat, hear what you guys have to say, and see what you guys have to talk about here. So let's go to that real quick. Sorry about that. Go to the chat. There we go. All right. Go into the chat. You guys can leave all your comments, whatever you guys want to say. Ask me questions, talk about things in the show, whatever it is. We're going to break down as much of it as we can. I think we're going to go for about 20 minutes. I like to keep this post game for about an hour or so long. I don't want to go too long, you know. I might sometimes try to go even 45 minutes, depending on the game sometimes. Tonight, I had a lot more to talk about because our three-point defense really just wasn't there. So a lot more to talk about. But in the future, maybe 45 minutes, depending on how the chat's going and everything else like that. But now is the time to do it. If you have questions, you want to talk to me directly, you want to engage with me, you want to give your take about this team, now is the time to do it. And who knows, when I drop the video tomorrow with this in mind, your take could be in that video. So definitely continue giving me takes here. Let's go to, I see my name up there. Who said Troy up there? Yelling my name up there. Who said that? I'm trying to see. Tony says, Yuri, welcome to the Recap family. Thank you for the support. And Tony is, again, one of our mods and somebody who helps contribute each and every time to the Knicks Recap giveaways and everything that we're doing. Again, shout out to new member Yuri. Really appreciate you, my brother, joining as a member. I appreciate everybody who's a member. But again, anybody who comes in as a new one, you know I got to give you a shout out. So much love and appreciation to you. Yuri says, the fact that Tyler got only 2 minutes and was cooking and got benched is a bloody criminal offense. And Yuri, I have to agree with you. How can this man get 2 minutes? Did anybody see that, right? Look at the breakdown again. Kolek off the bench. Look at that. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I understand he probably missed the defensive assignment. I actually think that's exactly what happened. And didn't get another, any type of play afterwards. But come on now. When he's in the game, he's near money from three. Why wouldn't you play him from three? It doesn't make sense to me. 2 minutes? 2 minutes? No Huck Porty? Tyler Kolek is better than the minutes he's getting. And I think everybody would agree with that. If you think Kolek deserves more minutes, leave a comment below. Let me know why he deserves more minutes. Or maybe you think he doesn't. Maybe you agree with Tom Thibodeau. Maybe you like the way Thibodeau is handling the rotations in the minutes right now. If you do, let me know that in the comments below as well too. If you're listening on the playback, whatever the case may be, let me know there as well. BPD, my guy on Twitter, shout out to you, Paulie. He says OG defense impeccable and Brunson went off too. OG's defense, again, we talked about it earlier. OG has been the brightest spot for the Knicks this entire season. I'm talking about from even going back to the preseason. I thought OG looked aggressive and he looked great. And now you're seeing it even more. The only thing that's otherworldly for me, what's changing everything for me, Paulie, is the fact that he's playing that good on offense, but his defense isn't wavering at all. You would expect that his defense would take a hit a little bit if he's going off like that offensively, but that's not happening. If anything, he plays better defense, and that's scary. That means that we may not have seen the best defense from OG Anunoby. He might have another ceiling defensively. Think about that for a second. OG Anunoby potentially having another ceiling that he can reach defensively. Talk about lockdown defense. Who's going to stop that? Shout out to you, my guy, Paulie. Appreciate you, man. My guy, Tony says, Kolek needs 10 minutes. At least 10. At least 10. What are we doing? At least 10. Yuri says, his defense isn't great. Let's be honest, right? That man needs minutes. His defense isn't great, but he can't be put in the corner. I need to see at least a bench unit at some point in time with Matt Ryan in one corner, Tyler Kolek in another corner, and Deuce McBride controlling the offense for a few possessions. Just let me see it, because I think it could work. I think it could work. Give me the shooters. They both could shoot. They both could shoot the three. Why not do it, man? I don't understand. I'm gonna work myself up. JC, shout out to you, my brother. Appreciate you. Thank you. James Lee says, you guys are embarrassing. Just a clown house, a typical streaming. All right, James. Well, he's going to get muted. It's all good. Nah, that's all good. It's all good. He's going to get a timeout right now. He should have probably got a timeout later. Listen, since you're in a timeout and you can't say nothing right now, I haven't done a little bit of a Nets thing in a while, so I'm going to give everybody a brief intermission here, if you will. I'm going to talk about the Nets for a second, really 30 seconds, and I'm going to get back to the Knicks, so hold on for a second. James, I don't care what your franchise does, who you have on your franchise. You're trash. Barkley is trash. Your organization is trash. And come the postseason, I will bet my entire life savings where we'll be and where you'll be. You're in a Knicks environment. You're lucky the mods didn't shut you down already. You might still get shut down further. And I know you got 20 accounts, but let me tell you something. Each and every single one of your 20 accounts are going to get shut down. Watch your mouth when you come into a Knicks space, especially after a loss. Because the only thing embarrassing that I always see is across the bridge in Brooklyn. I can't even throw my trash out over there. Let's be real. Thank you for this intermission. Going back to the real team and the real programming, and that's the Knicks. And shout out to the chat gang for bearing with me as I had to dismiss him real quick. Appreciate you, though. Let's see here, though. James Lee says, Troy, I just don't think this attitude is correct. Oh, my goodness. With James again. All right, James. I'm going to put all of your, I'm just going to put all of his, I'm going to put all of his, I don't know how many profiles he has, but all of them are going to go into a mute, you know? Oh, James, you were saying something. You were what? Oh, wait, it got deleted. Oh, no. Well, got deleted. Sorry about that. I don't know what to do. Tony, if you see any more James profiles, just block them as soon as you see them. Don't even worry. Don't even give them a chance. Just block them as soon as you see them. Don't worry about it. You got it from me. I appreciate you. Back to the Knicks, though. There you go. Hey, Tony, that's on you. There we go. My guy Tony jumping in. Shout out to Tony. Tony in the house. Oh, wait, what happened to you? I can't see your message anymore. Never mind. I'm going to go to Gabriel, though, who was giving us his comment. He said, let's focus playing against the 76ers on Tuesday's game and be prepared and ready to go. Locked and loaded. No more excuses. Gabriel, listen, man, I appreciate your comment so much, and thank you for that. I also agree with you 100%. We have to put things in order and focus on the next opponent. We can't keep thinking about what happened in the past, what was going on there. It's not going to matter now. We have to focus on what we need to improve moving forward. The problem is, even though the 76ers are injured, they can kill us the same way the Pacers did. If we continue to give up the three, allow teams to destroy us inside, and think we're only going to win just by offense, we're going to continue to lose, guys. We're going to lose each and every single time, and we cannot allow that to happen. Because if that continues to happen and we go down more games under 500, it won't be about, well, we're still waiting for this and we're still waiting for that. We're going to be in panic mode. We might be getting there in a little bit if this style of play continues. So something to think about. But shout out to you guys. Benjamin B says, when you don't appreciate what you say, you censor this. Oh my goodness. Is that real? So Benjamin B is another James. Appreciate you. Hey, shout out to Tony again. Tony is on fire right now with these mods. I think I have one of the best mods on the entire YouTube platform in Tony. Please hit those hearts for Tony Riviera, my guy. Hit some hearts for my guy in the chat, holding down the moderation, making sure only the good messages get through, and we focus on the Knicks and not no Brooklyn Nets haterade, because, you know, nobody wants to run a post game for them because who would watch? Anyways, let's keep it going. Marcel says, Thim's got to go. I was waiting for this. I was waiting for this comment, somebody to say this to me. So I'm actually going to zoom out here for a quick second. I'll get back to the chat, though. I promise I'm going to go back to the chat. I just wanted to address this because I knew it was going to come out. First of all, shout out to Marcel in the chat for saying the following comment. Thibs got to go. Now, the reason I said it's something to watch out for is because Thibs got to go is something that I knew somebody was going to start saying because of the rotations, the minutes, and how these players were being treated. Tyler Kolek played 2 minutes. We're playing a more or less 6-man rotation, and it's the beginning of November. What do you expect is going to happen right now? The fans are going to be upset. They're going to want somebody's head. And the only person you're going to look at is who? The head coach. You're not going to look at anybody else. You're looking at Tom Thibodeau. You're looking at the adjustments or lack of the adjustments. You're looking at the defense. What does Tom Thibodeau hold his hat on, ladies and gentlemen? Is it not defense? Regardless of what you want to say, the Knicks were destroyed inside and outside. And the shot chart reveals everything. I mean, look at the Pacers. Look what they did. Perimeter, destroyed. Inside, destroyed. We didn't guard anything. Nothing. And worse than that, we couldn't even buy our own threes. So we couldn't match them. And some nights we're not going to be able to match them. So what are we going to do? Allow teams to continue to shoot this way and have nothing to say for it? Just accept it? Keep taking those shots, shot after shot after shot, and not do anything? I think it's fair. I think it's absolutely fair to look at the coach. You have to. I'm not saying to fire the coach. I'm not saying Thibs has to go. But what I am saying is adjustments. How many times do we have to see an 8-man rotation not work before we know it doesn't work? And people are going to tell me he doesn't have any players that he can play off the bench. Really? Doesn't have any players? No. He has players. Maybe he doesn't trust those players, but you know what? You have a bench for a reason. You need to lean on your bench. Why would you have it and not lean on it? It's loopy to me. It's craziness. Lean on your bench. I agree with Marcel. I do. I agree with him to an extent of being upset with Thibs. If you thought you didn't have a right to be upset with him because it's too early, no. Take it from me. You have a right to be upset with him. But listen to what I'm saying here before I get killed in the comments. Upset. Did I say fired? Did I say kill him? No. Upset. It's upsetting to see our defense look like this when Tom Thibodeau is your coach. It's disappointing. And that's a fair thing to say. I don't care who you are. It's fair to say that to anybody. Let's keep it going, though. Shout out to the chat gang. Appreciate you guys. Juan says, when somebody get hurt, listen, I'm happy the community agrees with me because I've been saying it and getting crucified in the comments like nobody's hearing me. This man has played 42 minutes for Mel Bridges, OG Anunoby 36, Karl-Anthony Towns 39, Jaylen Brunson 41, Josh Hart 43, Miles McBride 29. That's 6 players playing significant minutes. You gotta say something. That's not okay. And I'm a Tom Thibodeau fan when it matters. When the defense is there, I praise him. When the adjustments are there, I praise him. But when it's not there, it's okay to criticize. It's okay to get on him. It doesn't mean you hate the team. You think I hate my team? You think I don't love the Knicks? I love the Knicks. I want us to win a championship, but I want us to win a championship so bad that I can point out where it hurts, where we're weak, where we need improvement. And I want the improvement because I want us to be better. We should be better. Why not? We have the championship roster. No excuses. No excuses. Where is the defense? You're telling me we have to tell players to not let other players shoot wide open threes and not look at them like a deer in the headlights as they shoot those threes? All night long. Oh, man. I'm sorry, man. I'm just trying not to go nuts here. And I know a lot of you guys, when we did this post-game show before and I took the poll, you guys told me you want to see more of me, more of my raw reaction during these post-games. So I'm giving that to you. You're going to see everything. There's no editing in between these or anything like that. The full raw reaction, you get here. Everything else, you might get an edited version here or there. But this one, This one is real, always and forever. It's direct. This is how I would be if I was in a bar right now with my buddies. I would be just as heated, just as mad, giving them just as many stats as I gave you early on about the defense, about the three-point shooting, about what this team did, what we didn't do, and all of the other problems that we had defensively. I would have done the exact same thing. So I'm glad I'm glad you guys do appreciate that, at least the raw reaction of it. But let's keep it going. Back to another topic here. Yuri, another member here, asked us, back to the topic, Troy, did you notice the Knicks 3 get taken back? You're talking about the OG Anunoby 3. Yeah, I did notice that. I did see that. I didn't agree with that, obviously. Didn't like that. I think OG would have been closer to 28, almost 30 points for the night if they didn't take it away. So I don't know what happened there. I didn't like that. I mean, small momentum killer. You think you're further along than you are. But is that the reason we lost? I don't think 1-3 is the reason we lost, though. The reason we lost is because we forgot how to play perimeter defense. And we allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do in the paint. We gave Ben Mathurin the most confidence out of anybody in the world. You give Ben Mathurin confidence like that, anything's going to happen. Anybody's going to be able to shoot against us. It doesn't matter. Gave him too much confidence. At the end of the day, it was the death of us, guys. It's what killed us. Let's see. Marcel says, I hear you, man. But when we are that desperate, like, come on. And Troy, I feel your pain. What do you think about that center that's on Westchester Knicks that's been balling out? He would be a good addition. I think you're thinking about Moses Brown. Yeah, definitely. Moses Brown has been doing good in Westchester. But to remind everybody, Miles McBride was a couple of years ago in Westchester, and he was lighting it up. Couldn't miss. Came to the NBA and really couldn't do anything. Moses Brown is a good prospect. I like having him on the team in terms of having him with Westchester. But at the same time, I think that Huck Porty is better. And if he's not going to play Huck Porty, I don't think he would play Moses Brown. So I think we already have the center that we need. Tom Thibodeau is just refusing to play the center that we need. Thibs, did Huck Porty do something? Did he? I asked the Athletic NBA insider that I was interviewing the other day. Anybody who saw that interview, shout out to James L. Edwards. I asked him, did Huck Porty do anything in practice to piss off Thibs? Because there's no reason why he should not be playing any minutes. None. Zero. I don't understand it. Really don't understand it, man. Tony Riviera says, Westchester, he's not in basketball shape yet. That's absolutely correct. He's not. Nobody on that team really is. I mean, if you look at the Westchester Knicks right now, I mean, they're not a great team by all accounts. That's why he's getting more possessions. And when you get more playing time, you're able to do a little bit more. He's not playing against great talent as well. You have to take that for what it is. NBA level talent would push him a lot more. He wouldn't be that open inside. That's why he's getting a lot of the points he's getting. So some things to consider there. That's a great point by Tony, but I understand the premise of it. You want more players on the bench in terms of depth and size that can be utilized. The problem is it doesn't matter who you want. We have size on the bench. We saw one of them use 9 minutes and the other one was a DNP. So what do you want another person on the bench for? To have another DNP? Because that's exactly what you would see. Huck Porty right now should get minutes, right? We all agree. DNP. Should get minutes. DNP. I mean, I can't explain that. I can't. Jericho Sims didn't even look that bad tonight, and he still only got 9 minutes. So even when Jericho Sims looks moderately good, still only got 9 minutes. So it doesn't matter. How do you play more minutes for Tom Thibodeau? Can somebody explain that to me? Out of the 8-man rotation, how do you play more than 15 minutes? Somebody explain it to me. I just need to know. So I can tell it to everybody else. Because I have no clue. Zero. How you break more than 15 right now. Because nobody else can. And I don't know who else will. Maybe until Precious comes back. No idea. Let's keep it going here. Knicks 100 GM says, you mean aside from Garland hitting a floater after floater on Ariel? Listen, he has bad defense. I'm not saying he's perfect, but is Sims perfect? Sims is not perfect at all. And I think for a fact he would be better on offense, way more aggressive, and I think we needed a 5 that can do that when Towns is on the bench tonight. We definitely could have used that. We're playing our starters too many minutes. So anybody that we can play off the bench, I'm taking. there is no way you're going to hear me say, okay, you're right. We should never play these guys. We played 6 men consistently, and 2 other players 9 minutes and 2 minutes. Who are we beating with that rotation? What are we doing with that rotation? Let's see what else we got in here. Westchester in the house. Shout out to you. He says, Thibs still living in the 90s. He needs to be benched till he understands times have changed. It's ridiculous. Did they even do this in the 90s? I don't remember 8-man rotation in the 90s. I thought they played more of their bench, rested more of their players, and then played more of their starters at the end of games when it was more physical to close out games. I thought that's what they did. Not playing their starters crazy amount of minutes the entire game, playing them crazy amount of minutes to start the third. 8-man rotation, really 6-man rotation. You know what? I'm not saying it no more. It's not an 8-man rotation. It's not. It's not. It's a 6-man rotation. If you count Kolex 2 minutes, if you count Jericho Sims 9 minutes, more power to you. You're a better person than me. I'm not going to do it. 6-man rotation. 6-man rotation until one other bench player plays more than 15 minutes. Hey, you know what? 10 minutes. I'll be even more honest. 10 minutes. Give me only 10. But something has to change because it's ridiculous. I agree. Ridiculous. Let's keep it going here. Coach, my guy, what's going on? Until Precious and Mitch come back, things will be hard. We have no defense. And is that what we're going to do? We're going to wait for bench pieces to save us? Bench pieces are not going to save us. Will we look better? Sure. We'll look better. But they're not going to save us. Precious Achiuwa is not the answer on defense. He's not going to solve everything for us. Mitchell Robinson, how many games? How many games? Landry Shamet, how many games? What are they influencing that's going to help this Knicks team drive up the win streak there? It's not going to matter if they don't get playing time, and it's not going to matter if we don't make the right adjustments. And our adjustments right now are poor. What we do seem to be good doing is responding after a big loss. So now against the Sixers, I expect the Knicks to dominate them. But who knows? Maybe they don't dominate them. Maybe something else happens. We don't know because we don't know who Tom Thibodeau is going to have available that game and what he's going to play. That's the scary part. But I think we know one thing. 6-man rotation, 6-man rotation, and a 6-man rotation. Keep it going. Knicks 100 GM says this game was a loss from all the crying to the refs. Tony Riviera says, Troy, I'm as mad as you are, brother. I know, man. I can't even speak. I'm getting so upset as I speak because do you guys, when you guys talk about the game, right, and you give your take, do you sometimes replay the game in your head as you're giving the take? Because I do that. And as I do it, I get very, very angry because I see it in my head and it pisses me off more. And then you see this part of me come out. You see this part, right? My kiss can't stop. So forgive me if that's happening, but I just keep seeing the 3 open. I just keep seeing the 3 open. I see it, and I can't unsee it, and it makes me mad, and it continues to make me mad, and my head feels like it's gonna explode. So forgive me. Bowl Cut Birdie's giving me a laughing emoji, so I'm guessing my emotion right now is making him laugh a little bit. Marcel says, love your fire, bro. What you're feeling is exactly what I'm feeling. Well, listen, man, I appreciate that. Like I try to say, I don't try to be anybody that I'm not on here or anything like that. I try to be me. I try to be real, and I try to give you the energy that I would always have with anybody, whoever I am, whoever I'm with. I just want to give you that raw emotion. I think that's what these post games are supposed to be for you to get that side of me, because you already get the recap side, the professional side. You get all of that. I don't think you get enough of the raw reaction. So I want to give you a little bit more of that. And I'm glad a lot of you guys enjoy and appreciate that. It makes me want to do more of the live streams that allow me to do this, interact with you guys more, maybe even break down comments with you guys, all of that stuff. So I appreciate you guys, man. Thank you. A couple more comments. We've been going a lot longer than I anticipated, actually, a couple minutes over the hour than I anticipated going. But hey, man, you guys are in the chat. You guys are active. You guys are going off. I mean, I might keep it going just a little bit longer just to see if you guys want to continue with the engagement here, because I don't mind, talking with you guys for a little bit more. So let's keep it going here. BTP, my guy Paulie again says, it's true, man. So many opportunities we had to win the game, just couldn't capitalize. Love the raw reaction recap like a Twitter space. Listen, man, I try to do it like that sometimes. I try to make it as raw as possible because some people want that. Some people need that. So I appreciate that. Tony says we need Mark Jackson. Listen, I'm not going to advocate for Mark Jackson. I don't think anybody can fix what we're doing right now. I think it is coaching to an extent, but I don't think Mark Jackson is going to be the one to fix it. I think we might need somebody else, to be honest. But I get where you're coming from. I get what you're thinking. Somebody else that could do a couple more adjustments, switch a little bit more. I can understand that. I can appreciate that. Yuri says either Mike Malone or Mark Jackson. Now there it is right there. Right there. You want to know who my choice is? Mike Malone. And, Denver, not looking great. You never know what could happen. And maybe Denver is going to be the place that we go to. I would love to take him if he was available. I think he could help this Knicks team go to that next level, but way, way far away from there. Tom Thibodeau's not on the hot seat, not in my opinion, not only because he's not really had a full roster that's healthy right now, but also because it's early. So I think we're going to have to wait a few more games. We got to remember the Knicks were 5-5 last year before we exploded and went off on that win streak. Same thing could happen again. I know it's frustrating because we have a better roster now. So we shouldn't have to wait for them to be great. They should already be great, right? I get it. But right now, we are where we are. This is exactly where the Knicks are with the chemistry that we have. But we're going to continue to develop. I think the one thing that we can say is that we're not done developing yet. We have a lot of work to do defensively, and offensively, it can look better. Even though I thought offense looked great tonight, it can look better. And I think if we had more defensive stops, you would have been able to see the real Knicks team that I think we can really be. Because defensively, we're good enough to shut down any team. And that's why I get so upset when we don't show it. And against the poor teams, the teams like the Pacers ain't nothing. They ain't anything. So allow them to beat us. Allowing them to do that to us. Allowing Ben Mathurin to shoot a career high. I can't believe I said that. I cannot believe I'm saying that. Ben Mathurin. Ben who? Ben Mathurin. They did what? Ben Mathurin shot a career high for Ben Mathurin, man. I can't believe it. Ben Mathurin? Who is Ben Mathurin? We had to make him look like him? Had to make Tyrese Haliburton look like him? The biggest thing is the defense, guys. Mel Bridges' defense, like I said earlier in the show, is the biggest problem with what we're trying to do right now, because we have to stop the other ball handler on the team. And if it's not Tyrese Haliburton, it's going to be Ben Mathurin. We got to stop him. But a number of times tonight, it was Tyrese. We bought Mel Bridges in, for the most part, to stop those stars. He didn't. And I love Mel Bridges. I really do. You guys know that. I wanted Mel on this team more than anybody. I think everybody in the world knows that. But at the same time, you got to call it like you see it. And I have to call it like I see it. I'm not going to give anybody a pass. And I hope that's clear. I hope everybody understands that. Just because I rock with a player a lot, or you think I really, really appreciate that player or like that player, it doesn't mean I'm going to give them a pass. If they're bad, I'm going to say they're bad. If they're good, then they're good. But Mel, his defense has been a disappointment. And this has not been the first time I've said this. His defense has been nightmarish for a while. Sometimes he has it going, sometimes he doesn't. But his defense is too inconsistent. It's not Mel Bridges' defense. That's not the defense that we saw last time. We used to see way better defense from Mel Bridges. And now We're just not seeing that anymore. I think that kills me the most, honestly. Few more comments, and then we are out of here, guys. G. Robinson says, Indiana had 3 rotation players out and still play 10. Should I just repeat it again? That's my comment. Shout out to G. Robinson again. Indiana had 3 rotation players out and still play 10. Knicks 100 says, what Thibs did last year was short of a miracle. And what he's going to do this year is what? I don't even know. Is he going to have another miracle? Are we going to get another miracle? Are we going to need another miracle? Because right now it looks like we're going to need one. Because we are playing our players into the ground. 6-man rotation into the ground. Marcel. Mikal coming over here acting like his former teammate Ben Simmons. I'm saying, man, it's been bad. Tony says he changed his shot instead of perfecting his regular one. Another good point. He did change it, but again, the offense is still not a problem for me. I still don't have a problem with his offense, even though he missed all of the 3-point shots he took. I still don't have a problem with his offense. It's his defense. His defense is bad. His defense is bad. The Meow of Wisdom says, is it me or do the Knicks specifically make other nobody teams look like good teams, even though we are 1,000 times better than that team? That smells like we should fire Thibs. Listen, for that last part, I already addressed that, but for your overall comment, it does feel that way. It does feel like we allow teams that shouldn't beat us to either get a lot of steam on top of us and still beat us or make it too close of a game. This game with the Pacers was one of those games. They were missing very key players. They almost had nobody. We took them out in that second quarter. We had a 10-point game, and we allowed that 10-point lead to go away in 2 minutes because we allowed them to shoot 2 threes and get an open point shot inside the paint. Gave them confidence, and then they shot us out of the gym. If this was a rematch of last year's playoff games, this was an embarrassment. Embarrassment. We should be embarrassed. The way we defended the 3, allowed them to shoot the 3, allowed another career high, allowed them to do whatever they wanted to do in the paint. Embarrassment. And it's fair to say that. It's a fair criticism. When you play like that, you do things like that, it's an embarrassment. Yuri, listen, you could be upset, man. Listen, this is the place to do it. If you're upset, you have an issue with it. This is why I'm doing post-game. You hear my reaction, it's raw too, right? Please have your raw reaction. I can't really say your raw reaction because, this video is monetized, but I hear you. I see it clearly, and I feel where you're coming from. I don't blame you. I really don't. What we saw tonight was pathetic. It was utter trash when thinking about the fact that we're supposed to be a defensive team, especially given who our coach is. And we just can't find a stop when we need to find a stop. And we can't stop anything from 3, nor can we make our own threes. Just terrible each and every single way. Tony says, hit that like and please join the crew after you sub. Let's go, Troy and the Knicks. Appreciate you, Tony. Thank you so much. One last comment. We're going to give it to Knicks 100. Back-to-back winning season for the first time and who knows how long, and we still not happy. All right. Appreciate you, Knicks 100. Let me go ahead and end the show right now, at least on that topic there. It's not to say that we're not happy, Knicks 100. I wouldn't say that. I would say that we're disappointed in the team not doing what we know it's capable of doing. So I think unhappy is the wrong word. Not satisfied with what the team is giving us, given the level of talent, the level of players, and what they can do for this team. That's where we are. Or at least that's where I am right now. I'm not happy. I'm not satisfied. And I'm not okay. I can be disappointed. I'm not judging this team fully yet. I'll wait to do that. But to be upset, to be disappointed, to allow Ben Mathurin to come in, not even to come into the Garden, but to allow Ben Mathurin to face this Knicks team at Indiana, allow him to go off score a career high against us, not do anything against the three, keep allowing them to shoot lights out, what do we think is going to happen? We stop moving ourselves, stop moving the ball, and it led to the Knicks losing this game. And if we do the same thing against the Pacers again, or we do the same thing against another team, or we do the same thing against the Sixers in our next game, we are going to lose. We cannot win games like this. At film session tomorrow, what they should be reviewing is the assist or lack thereof, the perimeter defense or lack thereof, the creation of three-point attempts or lack thereof, and the ability to trust the pass, trust your other teammates, and not go so heavy isolation when you're already down and losing the game, and making sure we all are locked in and are committed on the defensive end. If you're not going to play defense, if you're not going to commit on that end, if you're going to watch your defender just be open and shoot that three ball like it's nobody's business, like it's practice shots, then Tom Thibodeau needs to be a coach, pull that player and put somebody else in their place, because there needs to be consequences at this point. There needs to be. We need to defend. It's an embarrassment. And until we start defending the right way, the Tom Thibodeau way, the Knicks way, the identity that we had that we should still have way, you're going to hear me speak about it at the top of my lungs. We are a good team, a great team. We can be a dominant team, an unstoppable team. But if we play like this, we're going to continue to look like a trash team. And I don't want to look like that, because we're so much better than the effort that we displayed tonight. And I hope and pray that when we come back and we get together again and we all focus and go back to play the Sixers, that we are locked in and focused on the defensive end so we can shut them down, win that game, add momentum to our side, and add another W to the win column. I need a win streak. I need to be able to say 3 of them things. Haven't been able to say that all season long. I need to be able to do that. The Knicks need to be able to give me a reason to do that. Hopefully soon, they will. But what about you guys? What do you think about tonight's post-game show? Let me know in the comments below, guys. What did you guys like about the game? What did you hate about the game? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, because honestly, I would love to hear from you. But that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below. And of course, guys, please subscribe to the channel. Until next time, Knick fans, please take care of yourself, your families, and each other. Peace and love.